What up? What's going on with you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What's wrong with you, man?
No, you like that? You like that, right?
Gotta watch.
Yeah.
How you getting down out here?
Yeah.
How you doing it now?
Gotta do a little intro. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming to our still to be named Sunday Town Hall. My name is D-Mac. This is Ugly Wesley. How's everybody doing today?
That Ugly Wesley, man. We go keep it up, man. I'm gonna start going ham on here. I'm gonna stop.
I gotta defend the women.
I'll be holding back.
I gotta defend the women.
Yeah, I'm saying defend the women. This is crazy, bro. This is crazy that you're trying to take that standpoint. Okay, you know what I like to see right now? The fact that the Packers are up 22-21 right now. That's what I like to see right now. You know what I mean? Hold on. You know, the Falcons game ain't looking too good, but I think I might have, maybe I hedged my bets on that one. I don't know, but to go back and look. But
yeah, you got the Bucks on 2019 right now.
Yeah, that's good enough. I mean, they can hold on to that. That's good enough. I need the Bills to go do what they're supposed to go do. You know what I mean? Something. This is crazy. Whose ball is it? Better be the Bills somewhere. Oh my God.
Anyway, so welcome everybody to our town hall here on Sunday. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to catch us every Friday at the Friday Fix at 1 p.m. Yeah, man, it's not been a slow week. It's actually been a wild week here. 2 terrorist attacks. The year started off crazy. Two terrorist attacks. One was good.
Yeah, one was definitely
one was from a foreign, and one was basically a homegrown terrorist.
I mean, yeah. No, neither of them. Both of them were homegrown. Both of these guys were Americans, man. Both of these two dudes were homegrown terrorists. I mean, period, plain and simple. They both came from Fort Bragg. That's another thing that we got to kind of look at there. They both were from, the same exact army installation. They both went to Afghanistan in 2009. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's just too many similarities, man. Like, what was going on in Afghanistan in 2009 that's made both of these two dudes crack? We haven't really gotten
a lot was going on in Afghanistan in 2009,
but we haven't really gotten a lot of information about the first guy. He kind of wrote out his manifesto. I mean, about the first guy. Sorry about that. Yeah, he kind of talked about how he flipped over to being ISIS and XYZ. But I mean, what were his reasonings behind what he did? You know what I mean? You killed a lot of people. Like I said again, man, watching that video was really, really hard, man. You know what I mean? To watch that girl lose her life, you know what I mean? The one you saw trying to get out the way of the truck when there's 3 people kind of standing there in the middle of the street, that was like,
I've seen the worst of it. I saw the video of the aftermath when the person's on the balcony and they're filming it. And you're seeing people laying there like
legs all crazy, looking like, oh my goodness, man. It's just crazy, bro. I couldn't. It was bad, man. You know what I mean? I couldn't imagine being the guy. It was a kid, man. He was a younger kid, a black kid. He had on this hoodie that had like those little pointers on him. Yeah. He was talking about how he tried to get out of the way, and I felt like we watched him in that scene. With he's like, dude, I was looking for the girl who was behind me. There's 3 of us standing there, but she was on her phone, not really paying attention. A lot of us do that all the time. Yeah. And by the time that car came, she tried to run straight, and that car just no remorse, man. You got no remorse. You don't care about nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder who all knew about, and this is what we're going to do next is the witch hunt. who all knew that he was potentially an extremist? Did his family know? Now we want to go into the witch hunt phase.
Well, I mean, like we have to do it for both of them too, because the other guy, he was talking about Democrats and stuff, and which doesn't make any sense. I'm like, they're about to be out of office. Why would you wait? But he said they all need to go. So I mean, it's an extremist to a point, because like we don't know what the future might hold. I mean, that's a wild way to start the year off.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. It just as two quick, terrorist acts. One of them, I look at the guy who blew himself up in Vegas, and I'm kind of looking at him like,
supposedly.
You don't feel like he blew himself up? I know he said he shot himself in the chest, correct?
In the chest, right? So he shot instead in the chest, so he wanted to die slow
and burn. That was weird. I didn't really know. That was kind of a strange,
in a vehicle, in a self-driving vehicle that could drive itself there.
And how long was he dead for, and everything else? I get. I mean,
exactly.
there's a lot of stuff.
Did the car? Did he drive me to this hotel, or did he shoot himself in front of there? Why didn't no one hear the gunshot?
You would think somebody would shoot themselves in the head, especially because I thought the reason why you shot yourself so you didn't have to feel yourself burn alive. That's what I'm figuring. I'm like, okay, he must have killed himself,
or feel yourself die. Who'd be like, pow, I shot myself, and then you gotta lay there like, oh, I made a mistake. I left. I mean,
you shoot yourself in the chest and the right. Depending on where you shoot yourself in the chest, if you shoot yourself in your heart, you're gonna die immediately.
Yeah,
you're gonna die immediately there too. Correct.
Yeah, that one's not adding up. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's not really adding up for me. I would think that he would have shot himself in the head or something. You know what I mean? He got it over with a lot quicker, because I'm not one. I don't want to burn inside of a vehicle either. Who does? Who wants to sit there and suffer through that kind of a torture? But he was very, very serious about what he was doing it for. And me personally, when I looked at what he did from the very beginning, I'm like, okay, this dude went and got a Tesla truck, drove that Tesla truck from Colorado all the way, to Las Vegas in front of a Trump hotel, and blew it up and burned himself alive inside of there. And this guy was a staunch Trump supporter. He supported Trump wholeheartedly, 110% behind everything Trump was doing. And so he was sending a message like, man, we know who you guys are now. We hear you. Okay, we hear Elon Musk tell us we don't fuck. Who is it? Who just lost?
No one. The Buccaneers just scored.
Yeah, the fucking Bills lost, man. That's a heavy one for me. But let's get back on subject. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's stay on subject. But I mean, to me, with him doing that right there signifies the fact that at least some of these people are starting to wake up to the fact that they all were duped. They all got fooled.
Well, his manifesto didn't say he was duped. He said that the Democrats are destroying America. He's like, you need to circle them all, kill them until the purge is over, and then, be done with them all. That's what his manifesto said. So it's like I'm saying, it doesn't make sense for him to drive in front of a Trump hotel and do that. I mean, you would do that at a Democrat thing, or like.
I feel like him saying that all of them are against us. When you first started out as a Trump supporter, now you already didn't like the Democrats. You don't like what they stand for. You're not going to switch over like, oh, well, the Dems are right, because these guys who are, Trump supporters have anything that's remotely considered liberal. They're against it. You know that, like I know that. You know what I mean? Is that your golden retriever you got right there?
Yeah, sure.
You should fucking go. But yeah, you know what I mean? So anybody who's into that are not even sort of even on board with anything remotely Democratic. So I understand that. So then you got to look at from another perspective of like, okay, so now he's gonna tell you that everybody's crooked. Now he sees that his side is not on point. You're a Trump supporter. Now you're like, everyone's crooked. What are you thinking he's talking about at that point in time? You get what I'm saying?
I mean, he's like, hey, he wants a war on them all. You know what I'm saying? He's like, all the Democrats need to go, this, and that's what his manifesto said. That's the only thing I can go by, because supposedly he's not alive anymore, because somehow he shot himself in the chest, detonated a bomb, locked himself in the car, and was burnt beyond recognition. So, I mean, that stuff ain't adding up. I mean, the other guy, he's dead too. He got
and they found his ID. You see his ID? His ID looked pretty damn good. I'm like, man, how does everything else burn up like this, but your ID looked that good? I mean, these IDs, I mean, that's plastic, bro. That's gonna melt first. That's gonna melt immediately. Plastic and paper.
Both his IDs and his passport. For some reason, the terrorists always have passports on them that survive these fiery burns. Like, they survive plane crash. I need a passport. This fine. Plane crashes, car bombs, like,
you know what I mean?
Buildings collapsing.
They should be using that for the actual materials that they're building shit with.
Yeah,
whatever that is. I saw it had like a few little burn marks on it, but I'm like, this is nothing, bro. I mean, this is some good material. Whatever this is some pretty damn good material right there, because it didn't really, unless did he put it inside of something? Because now they're saying that the notes were inside of his phone. So I guess they could go back through his phone or whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The phone wasn't burned. What do you have?
I would assume the phone was burned, but that doesn't mean you can't get the if it's in the cloud. I don't know, bro. Like this is just how it goes. You know what I mean? That they're probably looking at him like this information that that they whatever his phone number was, they can go back over and retrieve whatever they can retrieve from his iCloud, whatever the case may be. Yeah. It's a terrorist. They're gonna give him everything.
If that's sounds like a sham to me.
They gave the shit about Lil Durk fast as hell, so I'm assuming that if it's a fucking terrorist, you know what I mean?
Different. I mean, like you're gonna give the information about Lil Durk because you want to put that into the media. Nobody wants anybody to see no right wing stuff because then you got to investigate right wingers, and then when you do that, you're like, well, there's more to this than meets the eye, and they be like, well, that's my cousin Eddie, so I got to, they don't ever investigate none of that stuff.
I really attributed this to kind of like when you were looking at. We looked at the Oklahoma City bombing, but a friend of mine came back and was like, hey, man, the Oklahoma City bombing is not really what you think it is either, because there's a lot more people involved in the Oklahoma City bombing, which there were, you know what I mean? So this is potentially could be the same exact scenario, but I mean,
but think about we had 2 terrorists on the first day of the year, 2 terrorist attacks, a shooting that still went unsolved in Queens. And that was just the first day of 2025.
Yeah,
this man's not even in office. Are the terrorist attacks going to continue? Is it going to get more amped? Or more people going to die? Like that's kind of a crazy way to start off 2025. Our brand new year.
We've never had a start like this before. I know we had the one guy down in New York who they found a car bomb in New York, whatever, but it didn't go off. But we've never had a start like this. I think. I mean, it kind of.
And they found the one gentleman in the Midwest. Remember, they found him with all. Is the biggest cache of homemade bombs.
Was that Virginia or was that the Midwest?
I think it was Virginia. Yeah, the number one.
It wasn't Virginia.
Most cache of bombs they've ever found on like a
right wingers, man. They're looking at all these people are like, this is not to say blame, but this is I call them right wingers, man. These are people who are unpatriotic, do not love America. Yeah, period. I mean, I won't just call you a right winger, but you have right leaning views. Which is like, you don't want people to be able to have their own rights to choose. You don't want, you want immigrants out the country. There's just a lot of different people who have extreme views about America who don't that lean in that direction, who are right now willing to commit violence against the country but call themselves patriots. That's just strange to me. You know what I mean? That you can get away with thinking that way.
Well, I mean, it's all about what your patriotism is geared towards. You know what I'm saying? If you feel that your country that they've been showing you, depending on what you watch in the news, if your country, if all they're showing you is, hey, you're being invaded by minorities, and you turn on your TV shows and the black people are running Family Feud and all this stuff, you don't like that. You want it to go back to the way it was, and you want to live in the world where your family used to live in, where they could just say and do whatever they wanted to everybody else. It's exactly what they want to go back to. Now, are we going to go back there? Who knows? I mean, like when this border czar gets in there, it's gonna be an issue. Speaking of issues, though, how do you feel about Donald Trump having to show up to court at the 10th to be sentenced with 34 felonies?
Man, person told me when I show up to court, I'm not going to jail. I wouldn't give a fuck. I
ain't even showing up.
I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna be there. Go ahead and sentence me to no time. You just want to talk to me. Basically, most of the time they just want to be able to admonish you in front of people to show that I gave him a stern talking to. Pretty much, that's all they're gonna do to him. He might not have to show up. If he doesn't show up to court, I think that that's like
when they issue a warrant for him.
That's like, I forget what it's called, like contempt of court or some shit like that, and you'll get in trouble for not showing up. He has to show up for his sentence.
Are they gonna send bounty hunters after him? I mean, like, are they gonna arrest him at the inauguration? I mean, he's Teflon right now. Like, I wouldn't even show up. I'd show up. I mean, you're not going to give me no jail time. What are they going to do?
You're not getting any jail time. Go ahead and show up, man. Get it out the way. And I'm going to say my piece, too. If he's already told me he's not giving me any jail time, I'm going up there and I'm going to say what Tupac said when he was like, you haven't even looked at me the whole time, Your Honor. You haven't even given me the privilege to. I'm going to say what Pac said. That's what I'm going to do. If I know for sure I'm coming here and they're not giving me any time, or if I'm about to be president, they really can't give him any time because he's about to be
get up
president.
There and talk shit. I'll be like, look, I'm about to run this motherfucker. What you really want to do, homie? I'm like, you got kids, you got family members. I know they did something wrong, speeding ticket, didn't pay a fine, didn't pay your HOA fees. I will crush you. I am the king now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why he's like, yo, everybody be cool until the 20th. He about to wild out. He about to be like you said, Tupac on the Machiavelli album, just wilding out.
I really feel like I really wished, we could have had a couple of our Republican friends on here today, because I really want to ask them a question like, so what do you guys think about what he came out and said when he was talking about, you guys are retarded, you're dumb, you're too dumb to do these jobs, all this stuff. Like, what's the what's the new line on this now? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think it really matters what they got to say about it if you think about it. I mean, The guy has 34 felonies. He's been charged with sexual, or he had to pay out sexual assault.
$5 million. They upheld it. He hasn't had to pay it yet.
He's been on the he was constantly on the he whose name we shall not say, so we don't get banned list. Flying there. They don't really care. So it's kind of weird. It's like you can point stuff out, but it's like, bro, you elected this dude to be president. You know what I'm saying? So whatever comes with it, and there's nothing he can do or say. I mean, it's going to be interesting because he's not going to walk back anything he says or does. I mean, look at him just recently. He was like, oh, this guy, you said the terrorists came over the border. I'm like, bro, you're president-elect. You have the privy to all this information. You know what I'm saying?
You knew the terrorists didn't come across the border.
He never came back and stood and corrected himself.
It's best that's
the thing.
He would have never had said that had that first one been anything other than the colors that he was. Anything without melanin, he would have never said that. That was never mentioned. The only person who mentioned the second guy was a terrorist was Elon Musk, because it was in his best interest to do so. Because Musk, the guy's in a Tesla truck. He's like, yeah, the Tesla truck didn't just blow up. There's got to be an act of terror. You know what I mean? And
but also it's like I'm saying, like he wrote something on his Truth Social and never backed down from it. He kind of like doubled down on it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So what happens next time? Let's say. And
he's talking reckless.
Let's just say some Asian American does something violent towards European. He'd be like, see, that's what happens when you let the Chinese in here. We need to round. What if he says we need to round them all up?
He's not going to do that up against them, man. Watch, because we just did a segment on it. Elon has too much invested in China for him to go against China at this point in time.
But Elon's not in charge. You ever watch Game of Thrones?
Hey, come on, bro. You think Elon's not in charge? Elon's in charge, man. He went against his whole entire. Listen, this dude came on here and told him to F yourself in the face, all kind of extra stuff. You heard what he said. You know what I mean? Everything. He went against him wholeheartedly. This is a subject that Trump in 2016 has said he was against too. He's against the visas. He said it again in I think 2020 that he was against the visas. And then this dude came out and smashed all of your people. And you went out, and what did you do? You went and had his back. You didn't have your people's back at all. So who really runs the White House? You know what I mean? Keep it real.
Well, I mean, it's all about, no matter who run it. It's all, like I say, it's one thing about Trump supporters and Trump voters. People that really go hard for him, they love America. They may have their own vision of America that doesn't. Hey!
I don't think they know
thy enemy. You'll know thyself.
They do not love America. What does loving America mean to you? What does that mean to you? Let's break that down.
What does loving America to me mean?
Yeah.
Wanting the best for your country and your countrymen. Well, for me, I love America. I don't like the people that are in it. I don't like some of the people that are in it, and I don't like some of the people that are running it. But I love being American. I have my freedom.
So does loving America mean that you would when the vote doesn't go your way, you attack the Capitol?
Yes.
And try to overthrow. That's love. That's your love for country.
Yeah.
Because a vote doesn't go your way. It's a vote of the people. It doesn't go your way.
That's running the country tells me, hey, they cheated and they're stealing your country from you. I'm going to listen. You know what I'm saying? If I believe wholeheartedly that this is going on from the person that I believed in and I voted for, yeah, we're storming the Capitol. It was false. It was fake. It didn't happen, but we doing it. You know what I'm saying? If they come out right now and they're like, hey, Donald Trump stole the election. They're about to come in here. We have the proof. We all need to do something. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to storm the building. That's what you're supposed to do as an American. We ain't got to take this shit. Think about it. When they didn't want to have to pay taxes, what did they do? They threw tea in the water and they started a revolutionary war.
I feel you. So also, does loving America then constitute attacking your country at the same time? Terrorist attacks on your country, wherever the case may be, threatening.
Sometimes you got to get your message out. So there's a difference between marching in the streets, trying to do it peacefully, and there's a difference of riots work. Yeah, they do. Think about it. When Martin Luther King was assassinated, they didn't change any laws because he was shot. They changed the laws because the black people started burning down the country. Everywhere. I mean,
on top of that, a lot of bus strikes, all that kind of stuff. That really works. I was hitting cities' bottom line back at that point in time. A lot of people use public transportation, so that's true. That's factual. Okay, I get what you're saying, but to me, that's not a love for country. To me, that's not at all. There's been plenty of times where I've lost things in this country or saw things be lost that I believed in, and I didn't attack the Capitol because I felt like it was the will of the people. Can
you get to the Capitol?
What do you mean? Yeah, I can get to the Capitol anytime I want to. What are you saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you? Yeah, bro. That's called flights. You can take one. I can drive either way.
I saw people instantly get put on the no-fly zone as soon as they left there. I saw him in the airport crying. Like, they won't let me fly him on the no-fly zone because
as soon as they left. Yeah,
Soon as they
exactly.
left,
That's what I'm saying to you. But you can get there. I mean, we had the Million Man March. So don't get it
Yeah.
twisted. There was a
I mean,
million
like,
of us.
people don't understand how much of their freedom they've already given away to technology. Like, you see how Apple, they got sued because Siri was spying on people. Your Google spies on you. Your Google tracks you everywhere you go. Even your new car, your brand new car tracks your mileage. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't own anything, and they can shut the thing out. You've given up your freedom for comfortability.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Do you have that Bannon clip that we
I probably do, yeah.
Would you be able to play that? Here, you know what I'm saying, I really want people to listen to this because it kind of, I mean, I'm not so much of a huge Steve Bannon, a fan. I don't really listen to a lot of what he says because a lot of what he says to me comes out as being racist, but it could be the fact that it's just small sound bites of what he's saying. But sometimes, you listen to a person and you kind of can hear them a little bit better when they make a point that makes sense. Not saying that it's 100% true, but it's a point that makes sense because he's really telling you that, honestly, that he understands why things are the way that they are in this country. That doesn't mean that I'm not saying that he agrees with my view of it, but he's telling you this is why these things are the way they are. But go ahead. I want you guys to listen to this right here. This is Steve Bannon speaking about why he believes that the visas for foreign workers or even people who come over here and go to college here should not be able to stay here. He really wants to let them just listen to it for yourselves. Turn this up, please. Start it over if you can and turn it up. I'm not sure.
Hold on.
Come on, Breathy. You're doing a horrible job right here. But yeah, basically, no.
Hold on.
I can hear you breathing though. Like like you just ate 6 chickens, man, just back to back to back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna say too much about it, brother, but that's what it sounded like right now. Put it on pause until you can't hear it at all. Come on, brother. Well, I don't think people can hear it at all because I can't hear it.
You can't hear it?
No. Can you?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay, maybe they can't hear it. Well, basically what he's saying is that most people who are here on foreign visas or even trying to get the H-1B visa should not be allowed in this country because he believes that in Silicon Valley, that he says that only about, he said not even 20%. He said he believes that 20% of Silicon Valley jobs should be for people, for Black people, and 20% should be for Latinos, because this is a big reason to why there's the racial wealth gap because of the jobs that are coming forward.
He's also saying that there should be exit visas, because once you come here to school for a visa, after you're done with school, you need to get up out the country and go fix your own country.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so listening to what he's saying, you always want America to have the best and the brightest. You always want your country to have the best and the brightest students, people who, the best of the brightest, at any field. You want your country to have that. But, what he's really saying is like almost like a call for some type of affirmative action. But it's and so this is the same thing that they're talking about getting rid of. But he's been saying this since I think this clip was from 2018, but he's repeating it when he's having the conversations with Elon Musk, basically saying that, hey, we need to have at least 20% Blacks and 20% Latinos in the tech field, in the tech industry, before we start looking at hiring people outside the world, because basically he understands that certain people are already going to have that given to them based off of certain aspects of history, why people are in certain positions and why people aren't. He said, then the rest of us have to pretty much fight against the rest of the world for our position. We have to go against, everyone else around the globe fighting for jobs that we shouldn't have to fight for. And that's why he's saying that people who try to come here on a work visa should not be allowed here. Then you have guys who are like Elon Musk and who are like Vivek Ramaswamy, who believe in these visas because they say that American workers are not smart enough to fill these jobs, or even smart enough to learn how to fill these jobs. You just don't have it. And particular right-wing workers, they're saying. And so this is the kind of conversation that I really wanted to have with someone. And, how do you look at this person today, knowing that he knows who he picked as the people who get to help get him in power? He knows he picked the ones that he felt like are dumb. They don't have.
It's all about money at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going to be the bottom line? Why would I want to pay an American $120,000 when I could pay a foreigner $70,000 and he's going to take it?
Listen, Even bigger than that, though, I picked a group of people who I knew were dumb enough to believe that I cared or cared about what they had going on, and they would listen to me and help me get into power. And then all of a sudden, I'm angry. I'm gonna tell you the truth. It's like when a person gets mad, they tell you the truth. Like when a person is drunk, they tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? They say that all the time. He got mad. He spoke the truth to everybody. He said, "Listen, you're dumb as hell. I don't even. You know what I'm saying? I will never listen to you. You have no idea how far I would go." You know what I mean, to deal with you, you basically call them slow and everything else under the sun. And so that's kind of, I look at that.
One thing I don't like is I don't like Elon Musk being there, though, because he's kind of getting drunk with power. Like, he shouldn't be anywhere having power over any of us. First of all, because he's like a legit foreigner. Like, it's not like his parents were born here. He's like from a different country. And he has no thing about it. He could ruin this whole country and go right back to South Africa. And that's not the people I want to run the country. I may not like Donald Trump and the Republicans and shit, but they have to live here. You know what I'm saying? Like, their families are here, their friends are here, their roots are here. So no matter what they do to the country, they have to answer for it. I don't like people doing anything in our government where they have a place to flee.
You see what he's doing he's doing the same shit over in Germany now. This dude, like Steve Bannon called him a globalist. He said, "You're not a nationalist. You're not even from this country. You know what I mean? You're a globalist." I mean, I know all these kind of words don't mean shit to average people. Like, even like myself, I'm listening to these words like, what is that? These guys are fighting over who's from this country, who's a blue-blooded, Anglo-Saxon, whatever the case, American versus who's not. And that's why they know this dude don't really give a fuck about America. He just pretty much bought an election, bought everybody off. You guys were just happy to win. You didn't know who you were getting in bed with. That's what it basically boiled down to. You were just good with the W. Oh yeah, we won Trump. But in reality, Trump's already bought. He was bought before he figured out. He's like, man, once Kamala got in, that's when he went ahead and said, let me go. Elon, put your money in. Let's go. Elon put the 250 in, put in $250 million to buy this election over the last few months, to buy this election. And he bought it. And that's why he's in the, the reason why we see Elon attached to the Trump at the hip is because if I gave you all that kind of money, I'm about to be attached at the hip with you too. Where you going? I'm going too. What you about to do? Me too. You know what I mean? Until I get what I'm supposed to get, I'm right here. I ain't letting you get away. I ain't letting you shake me. And that's why Trump was like, he won't even go home because you owe him something. You know what I'm saying? It's because you owe him something. It's like going on a date, and she's talking about, I'm gonna put out, and then at the end of the day, at the end of the day, she's like, I want to go home.
Why would I leave? I might not have access back to him. He'd be like, don't let that guy back in here. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it boils down to, man. When you look at it, it's crazy.
So how do you feel about a lot of people, I don't know if you guys have been seeing this lately. We did a report on it too. The HMPV virus. It's China's Center of Disease Control Prevention sheds light on fatality rates. So basically, we have a new disease coming from China, and it's probably already here.
Trump with this, man. Come on.
It's already here. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be here. It's a respiratory. So, my aunt's in the hospital right now with a respiratory infection right now. So I went to go see her, you know what I'm saying? I make sure I'm masked up. But, I mean.
You sound like you got a respiratory infection right now. I ain't going to lie. The way you breathing and shit right now, man, it's like you might have I'm just fucking.
I went to the gym today. So excuse me if I'm breathing hard. I've been trying to get sexy out here. I ain't about to hit another winter I ain't about to hit another summer where my clothes don't fit and I got to buy new ones.
When I'm looking at the when I'm really looking at what's going on over in China right now, and I'm seeing the pictures.
Can you tilt your camera?
Your head. I'm not listening to you, brother. When I'm looking at what's going on with China right now, when you look at the emergency rooms, it looks crazy in there. It looks again like, but I'm thinking like China emergency rooms probably always look like this. You guys have billions of people who live in your country. You guys over 1.5 billion. Your some of your cities have like 25 million, 30 million people in them. You know what I mean? That's just what we know about. You might have more people than that. We don't know. But, so you would assume they look like that. But most times you see anything in China, they're all masked up anyways. When you travel, you see Asians, they got masks on. They look,
they do that out of respect for everyone else around them. They're like, hey, I'm sick. I have to go do things. So they wear a mask so no one else can get sick. That's just
normal where they live at. I think they live in places they have like really high pollution in their cities that people get sick. And when you have that many people cramming onto like subways and everything else, they know people are sick, and they know people probably aren't too sanitary, man. We got running water everywhere we are. You think they do?
No, I'm saying in Japan they do that. They wear masks because they're sick and they don't want to spread it to anybody else. In America, we don't care. People go in there sick, they'll go in the store. I mean, you have to kind of. A lot of people live with themselves. So during COVID, You know what I'm saying? Hey, you caught COVID. You got to get to the store. You got to get your Pedialyte. You got to get your,
Nah,
your
you ain't got to get to
ibuprofen.
the store, brother. You can order that now on Uber and
Bro, I
order
went
that
to go
through
order some food
Instacart.
off
You can order.
DoorDash. My meal, everything cost $15, but it was going to cost me 30 something to get it here. And I said I'd rather drive.
And you rather go get everybody sick, huh? Than spend an extra $15.
Oh, I wear a mask.
You knock everybody down, huh? Hey, but I know I get what you're saying. But when you look at it from over there, man, if this does become another pandemic, I can already hear all the Republicans, everybody who's been on our page has basically messaged over there. Here we go again with another pandemic when Trump's in office. So it does seem like a kind of a ploy. But I'm gonna say this again. When you look at Asia, man, Asia has like almost 50% of the population of the world lives in Asia. I think it's like 50% of the population of the entire world lives in Asia.
Is it going to stop people from flying into Asia? I mean, they should have done it already.
The number one tourist spot in the entire world is Thailand. I think it's Bangkok. That's the number one tourist spot in the entire world.
They don't call it Bangkok for nothing. Or they don't call it Bangkok for a reason.
You sound stupid, bro.
That movie's hilarious.
Hey, but I'm just telling you, no one's gonna stop flying in there. It's impossible. You know what I mean? It's damn near impossible. There's so many people who live in Asia. It's just impossible for this thing not to happen.
He can do it. I mean, think about it. It's just gonna be part of the whole border czar thing.
I'm not saying that.
Nobody's coming in from China. They're gonna say it, and everyone's gonna be fine with it. You know why? Because there's no one to stop him from doing what he wants to do. The other side doesn't have enough people to storm the Capitol and make him stop. We're gonna have the pandemic's here. We already have one here. We have the new bird flu that's gonna mutate inside of people that you're gonna get from animals. So a squirrel runs by you, a bird runs by you.
We had our first case of I don't want to get into I know you want to jump in there and act like this is like what's the one thing they had, the zombie something.
Oh, wasting
you know what I mean? Yeah. Listen, if you only got one case right now, I'm gonna go ahead and see how this whole thing transpires. And did he work on a farm? Was he consistently? Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Like, how healthy was he already? You work on a farm with chickens. It's not real healthy working with chickens.
Then we also discussed it on the show too. It's like, he worked on a farm, right? Okay, now this one cow has the bird flu, right? Now you got to kill all the cows. This chicken has a bird flu. Now you got to kill all these chickens. This pig, now you got to kill all the pigs. Yep, because it's going to be supplying. And think about it, everything's going to fall short after a while.
We'll see, man.
You think the $2.29 for an onion was something? You know what I'm saying? Wait until the price goes up. Like I paid $20 for a pound of cheese, but it was delicious cheese. It was like Gouda.
I'm like this. Hey, let's see how the chickens are affected by this whole thing before I go too far with it. With the whole new thing over in China, there's always going to be something going on in China because they just have that large population, man. And it's unsanitary. There's no way you can have a population of this many people. No, man. What I'm saying is okay, when you have a population of that many people, where are you getting the water from? Clean water, consistent clean water. Most people probably don't even have water running into their homes, man. When you think about China and what they have, their GDP. Okay, look at America. Our GDP is like $29 trillion, right? That's the highest in the world. I think China's is like 18 or something, right? But they got like 1.5 billion people. We got like 340 million. So they got like 5 times more people than we do. So think about that. People worry about China, how China's going to take over. They're like an 8th world country. We got so many poor people in this country. So just imagine what they have over in that country. Imagine the kind of they're not even poor anymore. Those people are like destitute. They have nothing. So imagine where they're living. They probably live in places with no water. I've been places that were nicer that probably didn't. I saw places with no electricity, no water, no nothing. So imagine how you're living in there. You're not living clean.
I came across this article. It says Adam Schiff, he's saying Kash Patel should not be confirmed as President-elect Donald Trump's pick to lead the FBI. He said on Meet the Press today, it says that terrorist attack underscores why it's important to have an FBI director that has experience, has judgment, that has character, that will prioritize defending the country against the violence we saw in New Orleans or the violence we saw on January 6th. And, Kash Patel, I don't even think he's a police officer. I don't think he's ever worked in law enforcement. That's what I'm saying. Like, these terrorist attacks slip through the crack because we're going through a transition to different, different presidents. You know what I'm saying? So in that gap, we had 2 terrorist attacks on the same day. 3, if you think about it, mass shooting, but it's a bunch of black folks, so nobody cares. But I mean, if you put somebody in charge of all that, that's never been in law enforcement, like to be an FBI director, you need to be in the FBI. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to be law enforcement. You need to be a detective. This dude is going to have someone else's interest. Why he's going to be like, nah, don't worry about that. We ain't got to worry about that. Then something's going to happen. And there's no one left to blame.
Yeah, I mean, he's already talked about dismantling I mean, you got to look at Trump's talked about dismantling the FBI. So is this dude, Kash Patel. He's talked about dismantling the FBI before as well, too. So I would just rip apart the whole entire department. And so, like, when you got stuff like terrorist attacks happening, that's kind of what the FBI is there for. Counterintelligence for like local counter, like homeland counterintelligence kind of a deal. You got the home Department of Homeland Security as well too. But obviously these people have no like plan on what to do in case something else does happen. You dismantle this, then what? What's the next plan? What are we going to do next? So I don't, me personally, he's not the right person for the job. He's just too much of a loyalist, a Trump loyalist, in order to be able to do a good job in that department. But that's just my opinion. I'm always going to have the opinion that a person should have some type of experience in that field.
Yes,
in order to be,
I can't go work at Comcast and I've never touched a TV wire before.
I mean, might let you work there, but that's totally different. When you're talking about the security of this entire country, I wouldn't care if you hadn't touched, go ahead, go work, let them train you. But I don't have time for the person who runs the FBI to be in training. Hey, let's train you on this. And you already have views that are counter to people, even, to us, even our security here already. You guys want to get rid of the IRS. You guys want to get rid of everything. I'm not saying some of these things should be looked over.
They're going to. I mean, there's nothing in place to stop them. The Democrats don't have enough votes. They can bring anything to the floor. Boom, boom, boom. It's over. Everything they want to do is gone.
Now, this is what I would say. A lot of things take a super majority or a majority, not just a simple majority, but a super majority, a filibuster-proof majority, which is like 60% of Congress or 70% of Congress has to be able to vote for these things in order for them to happen. So they don't have that. He has like 219 votes. He barely had enough. I think he had like 218 votes. Is how he got Mike Johnson just became speaker again. He was like right on the number for how many he needed. Damn, the Democrat almost won. They had 215 votes. He almost won the fucking House Speaker, and they're in the minority in that case. So, we'll see. What do you think about that whole thing that happened in Queens, man? We know that there was a bunch of kids, man, who basically shot up a memorial service for teens who had lost their lives to gun violence. I mean, so they went to where the beef was kind of playing out. You're gonna have kids there who were probably there to say goodbye to their friends. Or to memorialize their friends at this place. So I think there's 90 people there. They said that 14 walked up with guns and shot like up to 11 people. Luckily, nobody died, but they're mostly shooting kids. That's what they're mostly hitting. So there's probably got some kind of gang ties.
Yeah, no, they were all kids. They released videos of them, or they released pictures of the kids. Here, I'm going to show everybody. Remove this one. Boom, boom, boom. Stop share, present. And then we're going to show a couple pictures of the kids. There's one of them
shooting.
Yeah. He's the one loading it up.
Oh, yeah. He don't care about nothing. And they ain't even caught these little kids yet. These little kids is better than the bombers, damn near. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got away with it. It seems like.
This one, he got the gun. He walking up.
They all masked up. They did a better job than Luigi. You know what I mean?
But these kids will get caught because the whole thing is like this with their kind of
mind. The clothes, what they're gonna look at is the clothes. People probably know
everybody got a tracksuit like that. Come on, everybody got a tracksuit like that.
Four dudes, they like this. Them four hang out with each other. They probably gonna go online and tweet some shit. You know how kids is about this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got to be seen. That's the whole thing. They want to be seen. They want.
If one of them gets caught, all of them are caught because once you catch one of them, you know who his friends are.
They gonna have the one picture of him in the. He crying.
Even if you don't tell, everybody else knows who your friends are. So I'm like, oh, that looked like such and such then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at the same time, the kids already know who shot up the place because they know who they beefing with. You know what I mean? That looked like I'm beefing with such and such. Look at him right there.
And if they don't, these days are so stupid. If they don't post it online, they're gonna make a song about it. I was at the thing in Queens. Shot 6 people, ran away with my Nikes. Now I'm back on 106th and 5th. At apartment 217.
Yeah, that's true, man. It's kind of messed up, man. I thought when they first showed this thing about the New York thing, I thought it was a terrorist attack. I did, because the way they painted it was like, oh, a nightclub. It said a nightclub, but it wasn't a nightclub.
It was an event center. But
Yeah,
I mean, it is a form of terrorism because these people are terrorizing their own people.
No,
but it doesn't consider that. Like, like I said, bro, my daughter was shot in a mass shooting in Seattle, but where it was in the Central District, so they didn't even make the news. 7 people get shot, and they didn't even make the news. And we're calling like, yo, why isn't this on the news? And the cops were like, well, they finally played it on the news. They're like, well, at one of these events, there was victims and this and this and that. They finally put it on the news, but I was just like, damn, they don't care. You know what I'm saying? They're like, hey, kill yourselves.
Listen, there was this thing that went on. I think, let me see. They were on Fox News, right? It's like a panel on Fox News, right? And this lady came out and she was like, well, most of the attacks that happen in America, terrorist attacks, are done by homegrown, right wing, Anglo-Saxon Americans.
Yeah.
And then she went on and named how many were, and they're saying this is how many are done by, like, jihadists, which are less than the other guys. And they went on to name the rest of the groups, and it was very, very, very small, right? Then the panel got mad at her. They were like, well, what about gang members? What about, they started just naming all, but when you look at it, that's not considered a terrorist attack.
Yeah.
It's just considered.
It's considered
normal violence.
It's considered a mass shooting if it's more than
violence.
3 people.
Yeah. So then if that's the case, you got to consider all school shootings terrorist attacks. You got to consider, but they're not. They're just homegrown. That's just violence. Because if that were the case. But
well, they're like, what about Chicago?
This is what they want to do. They want to be able to always paint someone else out to be something, because they don't ever want this to be the majority of who's doing the worst shit here in this country. And we all know who does the worst shit here in this country.
Oh, man, I didn't know Jimmy G. My bad to throw it off the news. I didn't know Jimmy G was the backup quarterback for the Rams.
Garoppolo, is he winning though? What is he doing?
No, the score's 0-0. They got the backups in. Ain't nobody want to watch this cheesy ass game. It's the last one. They ain't even playing for nothing.
I know, man. Some bullshit. I bet this week I probably lost all my damn bets. I mean, it's just fucking ridiculous because of the Bears.
Gambling is bad for you.
It ain't bad for me, bro. I normally win, man. I ain't gonna lie. I win pretty often, bro. This is what happens. You know what I mean? It's not a bad thing. It's bad. If you lose all the time, it's bad. If you win sometimes, you know what I mean? You gotta take the good with the bad. It's part of life.
I just want to make sure that you're okay, sir. I don't want you to I want to make sure everything will be fine with you. Gambling's a bad addiction here. Just for anybody else that's out there, we want to make sure that you're taken care of and you're finding the help that you need. We don't want you to lose all your money. All right. So here, we can take that back off. Just make sure, everybody knows, share that with a friend. So what, he has to go to court on the 10th. The inauguration, what day is it today? Today is the
inauguration's on the 20th.
On the 20th. So we got 15 days until we turn into an authoritarian country.
We're already there, man. He's already pretty much doing it. He's already pretty much running this like an authoritarian country right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's already happening. We don't have to wait for anything at this point in time. You feel me?
I just need the immigrant bounties to start. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to rely on my tax returns.
Hey, the immigrant bounties to be called. Tell them what that is, man.
Okay, yeah. People don't know, like in Missouri, they want to pass a law where it's $1,000 per immigrant or illegal immigrant, either one, it doesn't matter, migrant that you catch or that you turn in to the people trying to catch them, basically. And they want to have deputized people to be bounty hunters. So for every immigrant that you turn in, you get $1,000. And there's supposedly 20 million people in this country that aren't supposed to be here. So, I mean, that's what, $20 billion.
Yeah, it's a lot of money out there.
That can be made by us fellow Americans if we work together.
You're stupid, bro.
I'm trying to be stupid. I'm trying to be rich.
Let me ask you this quick question.
You didn't vote for nothing, no way. So I don't know what to tell him.
Let me ask you this question right here real quick. So what do you think about that whole entire thing with the prisoners being used for labor? Because that was a big subject too. People talked about on our page. That was a touchy subject. A lot of people were saying pretty much that they thought that they felt like, you go to do the crime, do the time, whatever comes along with it. So what?
Well, there's a difference. If you do the crime, yeah, you do the time. But also, it shouldn't be some shit where it's like, if you're good enough to be able to leave to go work with the general public at a McDonald's or a Walmart, your people greeter, he's doing 2 to 5. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make no sense. You should be able to be free.
Yeah,
at that point, you're a slave.
I think people don't.
You're a government slave.
Yeah, I think people don't really understand the fact that, okay, they're like, oh yeah, who cares? They're supposed to go and do this right here. But you got to look at it like that drives down labor cost when it comes, like not just labor costs, but that drives down, effectively the amount of jobs that people who are not in prison can get. That also drives down because they can pay everybody minimum wage for this position because they're going to get nothing but prisoners anyways. Then how do you get a raise? You won't, because they're like, oh, okay, you can get your ass out of here because I'll go ahead and hire some more prisoners to do your job right here.
And so the prisoner ain't never gonna need a raise because if he asks for one, you can just
you can fire him. He's going back to the joint. He got nothing to say. That also takes away from people who are in jail or who are not in jail. How much you can really say to your worker? I'm not coming to work. I'm not doing this. This is against this right here.
These corporations have a really good already like surefire way of making it so they can keep your wages down, not pay you enough. Like I'm saying, like those visa things, I didn't even think about that when they were talking about they were taking American jobs. Because I thought they were only just talking about the Mexicans coming over the border. But it's like it's a lot of stuff that's been taken from us. And so if people, you can complain about, I didn't hear nobody really throwing uproar about it. Like they were like, yeah, these people need these jobs. I'm like, nah. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to watch his constituents and what they have to say about everything going on. Because at this point, it looks like you got duped. Because gas ain't gonna go down, your groceries ain't gonna go down.
He told you there's nothing I can do about your groceries. Nothing I can do about your groceries. There's nothing I can do about this X, Y, Z. He couldn't stop the war before. As soon as he got elected, he says the day after I'm elected, I'm gonna stop the war in Ukraine. That didn't happen.
Putin said, "No, you ain't doing none of that."
Everything.
Like I ain't hearing nothing you got to say.
Everything that he's been telling y'all right now is all a lie. He just wanted, he needed to make sure he didn't go to prison. It's a cold piece. Y'all listen to listen. It's like y'all listen to a dude who's on a jail call with y'all and he talks y'all into whatever he needed to talk. I'm not saying it happens all the time.
I need you to make
people who are on jail calls. There's a lot of people who are in jail who do tell the truth. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it from that perspective. There's a lot of men who do. But I'm saying this is what he was like, man, I'm facing all this time. I got to go ahead and tell the judge whatever the fuck I need to tell him.
Hold on. I'll be back. I got to go check something. Keep going, sir.
Yeah, but here I think he has to go over here and check his dog. He said he got a pit bull, but his dog does not look like a pit bull. You know, we'll leave that at that. But yeah, it just doesn't really feel authentic. And none of the things he came across, none of the things he's been saying, he's done so far. I know he's not president yet, but he made a lot of promises that'll happen before he became president. And none of these people are holding his feet to the fire. I think the only one that actually did, no pun intended, is the one that actually blew his truck up and let the world know, hey, we see what you're doing. We know that most of you guys are here speaking from a perspective that does not really, jibe with who you are, what you guys what you guys told us from the beginning. You don't want to kick all of the immigrants out the country. You want the ones who can benefit you to stay. You want the ones that, the only ones you want to kick out are the ones who cannot benefit the rich in any way, shape, or form.
Sir, I'm gonna have to cut our show short. I have authorities at my door.
Authorities at your door.
Yes, all right. I can't speak too much about it. Thank you, everybody, for joining our live stream. Sir, you may stay here if you'd like.
We're out of here.
Check this out. Catch us next Sunday, 1 p.m. Pacific time.
Don't get yourself knocked down, brother. Okay.
No. It's a female cop. Wee. Anyway.
All right. Peace.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.